The kingdom of Orvalis was once a beacon of hope. Prosperity reigned, the land flourished, its fields were lush with crops and its villages bustled with life. The people of Orvalis lived in harmony, their days filled with joy and their nights with peace. The kingdom was a shining example of what could be achieved when unity and magic intertwined. This peace was not born of treaties or alliances, it was not the result of political maneuvering or military might. Instead, it was a peace that emanated from something far more profound and mystical. It was forged in magic, embodied in the crown of ages. This crown was no ordinary artifact. It was a relic of immense power and significance. Legend told of ancient sorcerers, harnessing the very essence of Orvalis, pouring it into a golden circlet. These sorcerers were wise and powerful, their knowledge of the arcane arts unparalleled. They imbued the crown with the magic of the land, ensuring that its power would be eternal. This crown, worn by the rightful heir, ensured harmony, its power flowing through the land. Generations passed. Kings rose and fell. Each ruler, upon donning the crown of ages, felt its magic course through their veins, connecting them to the very soul of Orvalis. Yet the crown of ages remained, a symbol of unity and resilience. It was more than just a piece of regalia, it was the heart of the kingdom, a testament to the enduring spirit of Orvalis. But whispers of a prophecy circulated in hushed tones. These whispers spoke of a dark future, a time when the crown's power would be tested. It spoke of a time when the crown would shatter, plunging Orvalis into chaos. The prophecy foretold of a great calamity, a moment when the kingdom's greatest strength would become its greatest vulnerability. Most dismissed it as a mere fable. They were wrong. The prophecy was not just a story to frighten children. It was a warning, a glimpse into a possible future that many chose to ignore. The night the king breathed his last, a tremor shook the very foundations of the castle. The earth split, the sky bled red. It was as if the very elements of nature were mourning the loss of their protector. And within the royal vault, the crown of ages fractured, breaking into 7 pieces. Each piece represented a fragment of the kingdom's once unified power. Each fragment, imbued with raw, untamed magic, was scattered to the winds. The magic that once held the kingdom together was now dispersed, wild and uncontrollable. Orvalis was left vulnerable, its protector shattered. The kingdom, once a fortress of strength, now stood exposed to the dangers that lurked beyond its borders. Fear gripped the hearts of the people. They had always relied on the crown's magic to keep them safe, and now, with its power gone, they felt the cold touch of dread. Darkness crept in from the edges of the kingdom. The once bright lands of Orvalis were now shrouded in shadow, the light of hope dimming with each passing day. Ancient evils, long held at bay by the crown's power, stirred in their slumber. These dark forces, once kept in check by the magic of the crown, now sensed an opportunity to rise. Orvalis, once a bastion of peace, teetered on the brink of annihilation. The kingdom's future hung in the balance, its fate uncertain. The legend of the Crown of Ages had become a tale of caution, a reminder of the fragile nature of peace and the ever-present threat of darkness.
Eirik, a former knight of Orvalis, had sought solace in self-imposed exile. Haunted by the horrors of war, I'd turned my back on the kingdom I'd sworn to protect. News of the shattered crown and the encroaching darkness reached me in my secluded cottage, but I remained unmoved. I was done with fighting, done with Orvalis. Then a blood-soaked raven arrived. It bore the royal seal and a message that shattered my resolve. My oldest friend, the captain of the royal guard, was dead, murdered. The letter, penned by the dying captain's hand, pleaded for my help. It spoke of a conspiracy, of treachery within the royal court, and a desperate need to find the crown fragments before they fell into the wrong hands. Torn between my self-imposed exile and the duty that gnawed at my soul, I chose the latter. I strapped on my old worn leather armor, the weight familiar and burdensome. My sword, once a symbol of pride, now felt heavy with the promise of bloodshed. With a heavy heart and a steely glint in my eyes, I rode back towards the heart of the kingdom I'd abandoned, unaware of the treacherous path that lay ahead. The capital city, once vibrant and bustling, now cowered under a pall of fear. The once lively streets filled with merchants and townsfolk were now eerily silent, as if the city itself was holding its breath. Shadows seemed to cling to every corner, whispering of conspiracies and betrayals. The air was thick with tension, and every creak of the wooden beams, every rustle of the leaves seemed to carry a hidden threat. I moved through the city like a ghost, my face hidden beneath the shadow of my hood. Each step was measured, each movement calculated, as I navigated the labyrinthine streets, avoiding the watchful eyes of those who might recognize me. I could feel the city's despair, taste the fear in the air. The marketplace, once a hub of activity, was now a place of hushed whispers and furtive glances. The townspeople, their faces etched with worry, moved quickly, avoiding prolonged eye contact. I reached the captain's quarters, a place I knew well from our days as young recruits. The memories of our shared laughter and camaraderie flooded back, a stark contrast to the present reality. The room was in disarray, signs of a struggle evident. Furniture was overturned, papers scattered, and the once orderly space now bore the marks of a violent confrontation. A single blood-stained dagger lay on the floor, its blade reflecting the flickering candlelight. The sight of it sent a chill down my spine, a grim reminder of the brutality that had taken place. I picked it up, the cold steel, a stark reminder of my friend's demise. The weight of the dagger in my hand was heavy, not just with metal, but with the burden of loss and the need for justice. This was no common robbery, this was an assassination. The precision, the intent, it all pointed to a calculated act of violence meant to silence and eliminate. As I examined the room, I discovered a hidden compartment beneath the floorboards. It was cleverly concealed, a testament to the captain's foresight and caution. Inside lay a map, its edges singed, and a small, leather-bound journal. The map, though damaged, held the promise of answers, while the journal was a window into the captain's final days. The journal belonged to the captain. Its worn cover and frayed edges spoke of frequent use, and as I opened it, the pages revealed the captain's meticulous notes and observations. My heart ached as I flipped through the faded ink, my friend's words a painful echo of a life cut short. Each entry was a piece of the puzzle, a glimpse into the captain's mind and the dangers he faced. The journal spoke of the shattered crown, of its fragments scattered across the kingdom. The captain had been on a quest, a mission to gather these pieces and prevent them from falling into the wrong hands. Each piece, the captain wrote, held immense power, and in the wrong hands could be used to unleash unimaginable devastation. The fragments were more than just relics. They were keys to a power that could reshape the world. The map, I realized, charted the locations of the missing fragments. It was a guide, a roadmap to the scattered pieces of the crown, each location marked with the captain's careful hand. It was incomplete, but it was a start. The journey ahead would be perilous, fraught with danger and uncertainty, but it was a path I had to follow. For the sake of my friend, for the future of the kingdom, I would see this quest through to the end. Word of my return spread quickly. The news traveled through the cobblestone streets and narrow alleyways, carried by whispers and hushed conversations. It was as if the very air buzzed with the anticipation of my arrival. Some welcomed me as a hero, their hopes rekindled by the sight of the once renowned knight. They cheered and celebrated, their faces lighting up with joy and relief. To them, I was a beacon of hope, a symbol of resilience in these dark times. Others viewed me with suspicion, their eyes clouded with doubt and fear. They remembered the past, the battles lost, and the promises broken. Their glances were sharp, filled with mistrust, as if they were waiting for me to prove myself once more. I was a reminder of a past they wished to forget. The scars of old wars and the memories of fallen comrades haunted them. My presence stirred up old wounds, and the ghosts of the past seemed to linger in every corner of the town. But I had no time for their judgments. My mind was set on the mission ahead. The weight of their expectations and doubts could not deter me. I had a purpose, a goal that transcended their opinions. I had a duty to fulfill, a promise to keep. The oath I had taken was not just a formality, it was a binding commitment. The fate of the kingdom rested on my shoulders, and I could not afford to falter. I sought out allies, gathering a small band of trusted individuals. Each one brought unique skills and unwavering loyalty. Together, we formed a formidable team, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. There was Anya, a skilled huntress, her knowledge of the wilds unmatched. She moved through the forest with the grace of a predator, her senses attuned to every rustle and whisper of the trees. Her loyalty was fierce, her aim even fiercer. With her bow in hand, she was a force to be reckoned with, her arrows finding their mark with deadly precision. Anya's presence was a comfort, her skills a vital asset to our cause. Then there was Gareth, a weathered mage, his magic a flickering flame in the encroaching darkness. His wisdom and experience were invaluable, his spells a shield against the unknown threats we would face. He had studied the ancient texts, knew the legends of the crown, and possessed the power to combat the forces that sought to exploit its fragments. Gareth's knowledge was our guide, his magic our protection. As we prepared for our perilous journey, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. The hairs on the back of my neck stood on end, and every shadow seemed to hide a pair of eyes. The sense of unease was palpable, a constant reminder of the dangers that lurked in the darkness. The betrayal I'd read about in the captain's journal weighed heavily on my mind. The words on those pages were a stark warning, a reminder that trust was a fragile thing. The captain's experiences had taught me to be cautious, to question every motive and intention. I knew I couldn't trust blindly. Every decision had to be weighed carefully, every alliance scrutinized. The stakes were too high and the cost of betrayal too great. My eyes scanned the crowd, searching for any sign of deceit. Every face, every smile held the potential for treachery. The line between friend and foe was thin, and the shadows of deception stretched long across the kingdom. In this world, appearances could be deceiving, and trust was a rare commodity. The line between friend and foe was blurred, obscured by the shadows of deception that stretched across the kingdom. In this treacherous landscape, we had to rely on our instincts, our wits, and the bonds we had forged. The journey ahead was fraught with peril, but together we would face whatever challenges came our way.